Hi everyone, my name is Jason Arnold. So I'm going to take you through my server-side URX exercise. First thing you need to do, we need to get clone. So we need to go to code and see clone of SAS. Click on the copy URL. Now we need to go to the terminal uh, or the folder where you're going to install this on your uh, local machine. Now you say git clone. You paste the URL. For me, I'm going to use this IDE IntelliJ to show you guys. So I'm going to click open, go to the folder where I clone. Hmm. So it's going to open the UL. Now the git clone repo you just cloned on a local machine. Now I'm going to run MVB MVN clean install to install everything what I need before I run the server for to you guys and demonstrate that. Oh, so here's all the folder, the .ims, the .source, main, WeShare, controller, model, precision, the server. I'm going to click on the server and wait to start. Uh, to done my MV clean install on my local machine so I can run WeShare Server. It's done now. So let me run uh the server. So run server. I'm going to click on this localhost 505. It's going to take me to this page or index page. Now, on going to show you guys. A first time user going to log in. So going to say student waiting student 4 with waiting codes. So you see when you're going to enter the index form. See where you put student 4 at waiting code. It got CSS class ID called email, and the login button have a URL form action. They're called log /log dot action. So you can log in. You guys can see it's so the brand new account. So where you say student 4 at waiting code dot za is the class ID code user. See the expense button here got a class CSS class ID code expense. Payment requires sends got a CSS class ID code payment underscore request underscore send. Then we get payment request receive is a button. The CSS class ID code payment underscore request underscore receive. And log out button here is CSS class ID is logout. Under my expense, you see add a new expense. It have a CSS class ID code add underscore expense. And you see the message you don't have any expense. That got also got CS class ID code no underscore expense. You can go to um payment request sent. You see, no people that owe me money. The message is nobody own you anything. So mean no one owe you so new fresh count. The message nobody own you anything is got a CSS class ID code uh no underscore payment underscore request underscore sent. A payment request, the people that you owe, you don't own now one because it's a new account, and you get a message you don't own anyone anything. That message got no underscore payment underscore request underscore receive. Now let's go to the second example where going to log into um, students that have some expense on the account. So we log into Student1 at reading.z. Now you can see on the index HTML there is some expense there. And when is when the date of the expense? What is the description? Amount spent is how much they spent. The payment request is how much the payment is requesting, and next to the payment you receive, so how much payment it receive, and net expense. So under when you say under when they got a CSS class ID code date underscore uh this expense ID, this expense ID. Under what is you get a description underscore this expense ID. Amount spent got a CSS class ID is the amount underscore the expense ID. Payment request got a CSS class ID code payment a request underscore expense ID. Your payment you receive got receive underscore expense ID. Under net expense, you get they got CSS class ID code net underscore expense ID. So I'm going to add a new expense. So when you have a new expense, the description got a CS class ID code description. Now we're going for in the date. We can choose today date, and thus got a CSS class ID code date. And amount is got a CS class ID code amount, and we're going to put 300. And the submit button have a form action / explain dot action. You can see it got added. got added to our expense. Today date, dinner. How much amount to expense? 300. Pay request, 0. Payment received, 0. Net expense is 300. Now I'm going for student 1 must send a payment request to student 3 to pay dinner. So you're going to click on payment request sent. Uh, to now you're going to click on dinner first. Then you can see it's a form there. Submit a payment request for a following expense. This is the email address for a person who should pay. And we're going for in student 3. And how much they should pay is 150. Set the claimer for Saturday. But this placeholder got CSS class ID code email. So this one got CSS class ID code amount. And this one CSS class ID for date. This date got class CSS class ID code expense underscore date. This one got this description got a CS class ID expense description. This amount got a CSS class ID explain underscore amount. So I'm going to this submit button have a pay request dot action. See now a provision payment request for this expense. So we have who do pay how much. So student 3 is got a CSS class ID payment request underscore who ID expense. 2 we have underscore we have do you got a CSS class ID payment request underscore date the expense ID pay uh got a payment got a CSS class ID called payment request underscore pay underscore ID of the expense. How much got a CSS class ID called pay request underscore amount underscore ID. I don't have a total amount of pay requests. That is going to have a CS class ID called total underscore pay requests. So we go in there, we go and see the payment request sent. And you can see the student 3 what dinner the description dinner and during in days 3 days 3 days and how much 150. Now let's go to um let's log out of student one and log into student three and see what happened. On student three, you can see what they expense. And if you go to payment request receive, you can see people that you owe. Season three, what the shipment is done up, and during 3 days, uh, during in days three, and how much is 150 rand. So if you, the student three click on pay, it have a form that is payment answer, no payment dot action. So when you click on that, let, let go to player student three expense. You can see student expense just paid the expense. Now that's all from season three. Let's go back to season three and see if season three paid season one and see. And you can see, oh, then how much suspense? 300. Pay request, oh, 150. Payment received is 150. So season three paid. And let's go back to payment request sent. Or let's click on then and see that the student three paid. And you can see it's true, not false. So let me log out and thank you for listening to me.